Hey, this is Russ. Let's talk MUA. What is an MUA? I think of all the things that people have searched for on Russ's Right, MUA is probably the number one topic. And you might wonder why that is. So what is an MUA? Well, an MUA is the manipulation under anesthesia. So if you had a total knee replacement and you're not getting the range of motion that you had hoped, okay, we'll talk about that too. The doctor may tell you you need to do an MUA. You need to be manipulated. Okay, so what this really is that the doctor's going to knock you out, put you in the OR, knock you out. You're not going to feel anything while you're knocked out. Let me say that real quick, okay? And I think that's the biggest fear we have is it going to hurt, right? Yeah. After all the pain we go through with the knee, I think we don't want any more pain, right? So I think that's really what a lot of people are afraid of. But no, you're not going to feel anything. I had 2 MUAs, okay? And after he knocks you out, he's going to grab your leg and just move it back and forth. My doctor said it's fast and hard. I kind of believe it. And by doing that, any scar tissue that you have grown since your knee replacement, it's going to crack it. It's going to basically break it. And when that happens, that will give you more range of motion. What usually holds you back, 2 things hold you back. Let me say that. Pain is the first thing that probably holds you back more than anything else. It's not like the knee can't bend. It's just that the pain is what doesn't allow it to bend. Okay. So what he's going to do is by knocking you out and you can't feel anything, he's going to grab your leg and just really crank on that thing. He's going to push it back and forth until the scar tissues are broken. And by doing that, that will give you more range of motion. Okay. Now I'll put a photo up here, and you've all seen this if you're a longtime watcher of Russ's Right, and you'll see that the doctor has actually gotten me to 130 degrees of flexion. Now, before this photo was taken, he actually did it twice for me. I won't show the other one. It's not as good. This is a better photo, okay? But they both look the same. All right. I was only getting low 70s after 1 month, okay? And so we decided we had to do something after a month. I mean, low 70s is not good at all. So we said it's got to be the scar tissues. And we kind of knew that because I had scoped out knees before, and 15 years prior to the operation, and then 10 years prior to the operation on the other knee. So it was the 3rd time we were in the operating room when I finally got my knee replacement. And then, of course, the 4th and 5th time was the MUAs. So we kind of knew it was the scar tissues. And he says, we got to break that up. So the fastest way to do that without actually opening up your knee again and cutting it, all right, cutting the scar tissues, is really to do the MUA. So he told me that when he was manipulating my knee, everybody in the room, of the operating room, could hear the scar tissues cracking. Now, that sounds extreme, but I do believe it because I heard it myself too. Yeah, after I did the MUA, there's still some scar tissues I think that are happening. And as we're working it in physical therapy and also on my own as I'm working my knee, I heard little crunching noises. And I was thinking to myself, am I just imagining this, or is that actually the scar tissues cracking? Okay. But after a while, I didn't hear it anymore. So I'm pretty sure that was probably the scar tissues that was cracking that I was hearing. Now, I talked to another patient who was at physical therapy with me, and he told me he could hear his cracking too. And he had an MUA done too. So yeah, you're going to hear those little crackles. And I think that's the scar tissue, okay? That's what's holding you back a lot of times. So if they can get rid of that a little bit by cracking those scar tissues that have been formed, your range of motion should improve, okay? So now after my first MUA, like I told you, I had low 70s. After he did it, he hit 130 degrees of flexion and 0 degrees of extension. Let me show you the extension one up here now, okay? I was not able to get that right away. Now, after the MUA, I had, they send you back home. You're not there in the hospital all day long or anything like that. You do your thing, you wake up, you're out of there. Okay. And I think the operation, let me not call it an operation because it really is not an operation. It's just manipulation. After the manipulation was finished, maybe we're done by 10:30 in the morning, something like that. By 2 or 2:30, I was back at physical therapy. I had to go back again. And we weren't able to get 130. Obviously, you can only get that 130 if you're knocked out because the pain is still there, right? So we were getting about 90. All right. And I remember my therapist was saying, oh, boy, that's not good enough. But I think because the knee has been pushed so much and so hard that after the MUA, the pain was holding me back. Okay. Eventually, after almost a month, I was in the 90-degree ranges, still not good enough. So I asked my doctor, what if we did another MUA? So it wasn't really as prompted by me. It wasn't prompted by the doctor. And he asked me, he says, do you want to do that? And I says, well, if it's possible, and if you think we can get back higher, yeah, why not? Because we knew we could get 130. I was at 90. He says, all right, let's do it. So I went back in a month later. Okay, so 2 months after the operation. And we did it again. And again, he hit 130 and 0. Okay. And my physical therapy was done in the hospital. This time we decided I would stay there overnight. Okay. And the reason we thought that is because he says, if we can get the physical therapist at the hospital to actually work on my knee immediately and just keep working on it while keeping the nerve block in me. Okay. That was the key. We might be able to get 120 something, 130 degrees while they're working me when I can't feel it. If the nerve block is still on your knee or in your leg, let's say, you can't feel what they're doing. So he says maybe they can push you harder and maybe that'll help it. The sad part is that somebody before I woke up, had removed the nerve block. Because typically they do take the nerve block out after the operation or the procedure is done. So they took it out, but the whole point was we needed to keep it in there so that I couldn't feel it, so that they could manipulate the knee. Okay, so it kind of ruined our reasons why I stayed overnight after the MUA. And besides that, he did radiation on my knee too. Okay, this is kind of an extreme thing. His logic was, he says, if we put radiation on your knee, it might kill off any bone growth. Because after they saw your knee and everything and cut everything, cut your bones, there could be little bone spurs that are growing. He says maybe that could be causing you pain too. Let's kill that off. So I underwent radiation right after the MUA. Okay, a couple hours later, I had a radiation done. So anyways, they took the nerve block out. I didn't know that because I don't know what a nerve block looks like. And you can't feel it. You're still kind of numbed up down there. But when the doctor arrived, he says, where's the nerve block? I says, I don't know. So they took it out. So he immediately says, put that back on him, because the whole reason we wanted me to be in the hospital for an extra day was to do the physical therapy in the hospital. So they put it back on me, and then they did it. I was able to hit, I think, like 112, something like that, while the therapist was working on me. Okay. But again, after I was back out in the world, all right, outside of the hospital, I wasn't able to hit that. I was hitting about 100, something like that. And it took a while, all right? It took a while. It took until, let me say, 2 months or longer before I finally hit the 110, 120, and then finally 130 under screaming at physical therapy, all right? And so I would say that the MUAs were critical for me to be able to get some range of motion. Okay, so I would definitely do it again if I had to. I don't care what pain they put me into. I have to do it to get that range of motion. So let's talk deadline. Okay, there's a deadline in everything. Here's the deadlines that I understand. It's basically between 6 to 12 weeks you need to get the MUAs done, because once the scar tissues have set, the chances of an MUA helping you is slimmer. I don't want to say it's not going to happen, because I'm sure there's people past what did I say? 6 to 12 weeks. Did I say months? I can't even recall now. 6 to 12 weeks. Okay. If you go past 12 weeks, the chances of the MUA helping you is less. So you have a deadline. Now, my doctor did my first MUA after about a month. All right. So we did it a little about 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. And then we did it again a month later from that point. Okay. So I was well within the 12-week time frame. All right. So let me encourage you this. If you're thinking you need more range of motion, if you're thinking the MUA is the way to go, or if your doctor has told you you should get the MUA, let me encourage you this. Get it done. All right. Don't worry about the pain. Yeah. Will you have pain? Okay, here. Yes, you're going to have pain. You're not going to feel it when they do it, all right, because they're knocking you out. And they're typically going to put a nerve block in your leg, okay? But when that wears off, yeah, you're going to have pain, all right? And that pain is more so on your quad muscle, on your thigh muscle, okay? Because he's moving it hard, all right? He's stressing that muscle out when he's pushing it like crazy, all right? So I don't think you're going to feel the knee pain as much. Okay, maybe the knee pain is probably still there, all right? But that quad muscle pain is going to override that knee pain. I mean, so much so that you're going to say, why is it now hurting there? And the reason is because they're pushing so hard. Think about it. They're grabbing your leg and they're moving it back and forth. That's going to move that muscle. You're not moving it like that typically. So you're stressing it, okay? So will you have pain afterwards? Yeah, you're going to have pain. It'll be maybe a week and a half, something like that. That's how long it took mine, twice. Okay, now yours might be shorter or longer, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel it in the quads. Is that worth it? Let me tell you, it is worth it. It is worth doing. Now, if you watched my first MUA video where I was, I think, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day that I did that after the MUA. I told you it was the biggest mistake of my life. I would never do this ever again, my leg. I'm still not at the point where I can say that the operation was worth it for me yet, okay? But I will revise that by saying this. I would do the MUA again, and I did. I did it a second time. So I'm going to tell you, do the MUA if you need to get it done, and get it done soon. Don't wait on this thing, okay? If you wait, you lose the chance of that ability to bend or extend, okay? So don't think forever on this thing. If you think you don't want to do it and you push it off, you're losing that deadline time, okay? So let me encourage you again. Get it done if you need to get it done. Now, I do know that there are some people, they do have some fear that, maybe their bone is more brittle, and then, by pushing it that hard that they might, actually damage your femur or something like that. Okay, that's another story, okay? So if you're in that type of situation, then yeah, I think you need to do a little more consulting with either the doctor or get an opinion from somebody else to find out, what that risk is. But if you're fairly strong, other than the fact that you can't bend your knee anymore or you can't extend it very well, I would say, yeah, get that MUA taken care of, okay, because that could help you. And don't expect to get the range of motion right away, okay? It could take a month or 2 or 3 after the MUA. But you still need to work hard in physical therapy after the MUA, okay? It's not an instantaneous thing. Some people do, okay? Some people immediately, I did the MUA. Well, look, I'm doing 120, 130 degrees easy, okay? I wasn't like that. So I'm saying that it could take a while. So don't get discouraged afterwards. Keep working and get it done, all right? Hopefully this has helped you, all right? And if you did like it, just hit the like button, because that's what gets this video out to other people. Apparently that's the algorithm from YouTube. The more likes you get on a video, then it's suggested to other people to see it. So other knee patients will see it. So if you want to help someone else, hit the like button, all right? If you want to help me, hit the subscribe button. We're really close. I think we're only maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing now, about 130 people short of 1,000. So hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. All right? Talk to you guys next time.